Folks, welcome back to the channel. Really do appreciate you being here. If you are new here, hey, how you doing? My name's Chris and I'm building a business that suits my lifestyle. And welcome to my warehouse. We've been building this business for the last 5 years. It's definitely been a roller coaster to get here, but what I like to do in these videos, the purpose of these videos, is to really just document myself building what I hope to be my dream and my legacy as well. We started off in the thrift shops, we started off working from home, we moved into a storage unit, then we got 5 storage units, and we've been in this warehouse for the last 9 weeks. I can't believe it's already been 2 months, which is just crazy. But the whole purpose of this is really for me to just document and share what I'm doing, the decisions I'm making, how I'm building it out, what does that look like. Sometimes there's lots of highs, sometimes there's lots of lows as well. But really with the intention to hopefully encourage, motivate, inspire, and provide you some insight so that you can go do whatever it is that you want to do, whether it's build your own business or just have the inspiration and motivation to pursue after your own goals, right? And that's really the main thing I want to try and achieve here for you. Otherwise, I'm documenting it for me to keep myself accountable. And look, it's going to look very different to maybe how you would run your business, especially if you're a reseller and you're doing this on eBay, etc., because that's where we sell predominantly on eBay. We do a little bit of wholesale. We've taken over another e-waste business, and well, we mainly sell pre-owned clothing, as you can see. So I'm just my cup is full, and the whole purpose for me to be able to document all this is to continuously learn, continuously improve, but also to reflect back and see how far we've come. And it's been a journey, and I won't say it's been easy. But as you put in more reps, it does get a little bit easier. So if you've got any questions, comments along the way, chuck them down below, and I'll be more than happy to continue the conversation or answer any questions, and I'll bring them into the videos as best as possible. But for now, let's get into it. It's Monday morning, 7:04, and I'm excited. I love a new week, new challenge. Sometimes it can be a little bit rough, but we've got lots of washing coming back today. I'm really excited for the washing that's coming back, is because we've got some new stock in there that we've never sold before. So very excited to get that in front of our customers. I've just gotten in early. I'm going to be setting up and getting everything ready and turned on for when my staff get here. I do have my photographer in today, so they'll be doing majority of the photos for all of the clothing today. I, however, have quite a few other things that I need to get done personally. So a bunch of different things today and this week. But really, this week is actually a huge week, not because we're doing anything different, but because it's a shorter week. We've got Easter at the end of this week, and I've got the market at the end of the week, and we've only got, and I'm away Wednesday as well. I'm going to be doing some stuff for Backpack for Big Kids. So really, I've only got Monday, Tuesday, and Thursday to get everything done that I want to get done. So that's what we've got to do. So at end of last week, we did go through all of that e-waste. We finalized all that, so I've got to send the weight report today. I've got washing coming back. We've got washing going out. I need to sort all of this clothing that came through last week. Haven't been able to get to it. Obviously, we've got to pick, pack, and post as well, which usually takes a big chunk out of Monday morning. At the moment, we're sitting on. It's actually been a pretty good weekend. We did sell some of the video games. If you were here last week, we did find a whole bunch of retro video games in the e-waste. We've sold a bunch of that. We've got 46 orders going out. It's probably a bit more than that. It's probably about 55. And we're back on 91,000. So it's been an up and down kind of roller coaster, but we charge on regardless. So yeah, I'm excited because new week, new opportunity. There's a lot of things that I'm working on to continuously build the business, and that takes a little bit of time, but it's another day to continuously get closer to where you want to be. And if there's anything that I can leave you with, and I was just admiring this because we made some really good progress here last week. If there's anything that I can leave you with that you can take away from this video, even if you did not watch any more of it, is you got to ask yourself, what is the one thing that you can do today that's going to get you closer to where you want to be? And that is really the key thing that we have to keep focusing on. As long as we're doing something that is getting us closer, you don't have to do everything, just something, because growing slow is the key thing here. Like, if this is going to take me 5 more years, if this is going to take me 10 more years, that's fine. But I like to do it as fast as possible, but doing it as long as it takes. Which means sometimes there's going to be problems, there's going to be hurdles, and there's going to be things that we have to figure out. And that's all part of the journey. Sometimes it's a really, really good day. Sometimes it's tough days, but yeah, not too bad. All right, let's get into it. I'm gonna just get everything set up, make sure my staff are ready to be able to execute. We did get these tables over the weekend, all set up for the new washing that comes back today as well. So there's a whole bunch of stuff over there, still need to sort. So many things to do. It's a good problem. All right, let me get set up, and I might even finish a couple of listings, and then we'll get into the proper of the day. All right, so I'm just finishing off a few more listings. I had done 29 before I had left home at 6:30, so I'm just gonna finish out the final 11, get the 40 done, and then we'll get into some other work. I'm also just setting up so for all our photos that we do, we manage that through Google Sheet, and I like to just make sure I've got that all set up ready for the photographer for when they come in. I mean, they could do all this stuff, but at the same time, I want them to come in and just execute, and it really just makes my life a little bit easier when they can just come in and rock and roll. So that is the plan. I'm just getting that all set up on the sheet. They should hopefully get 80 to 100 done today. That's the goal anyway, and yeah, happy days if they can do that. If they don't, well, you know, it is what it is. So I'm just going to get that set up, finish these listings. Already tired. Actually, it was a really good weekend. I finished the game Split Fiction with Carla, which was great. Really, really good game. And we spent a bit of time on Saturday. We went out for something that we call blue sky thinking, where we just basically, whether it's a new challenge that we're facing, or the next phase of our life, or the next goals that we're working towards, we basically just go out and have some brunch, and we just sit there and we just smash it out in terms of take notes, plan, research, figure it out, kind of like a brainstorming session, and just figure out next steps that we've got to do, whether it's with budgeting, whether it's with buying a house, all these different things. I always love those because we just get closer together, and we also, we're solving whether it's our personal goals, our career goals, and things like that. A bit different to what we did the other week. The other week was more of a reflection process, whereas this one was more of like, okay, what's the next steps? And yeah, that was really, really good. So I encourage people, and I talk about this all the time, right? Reflecting on what you achieve is super key, but also having some time to figure out what's the next step. What are you doing to take action? Where are you heading towards? Because you got to figure out what you got to do to get there. Anyway, I'll talk to you soon, folks. All right, team, we are going to pick some orders. I'm going to speed through all this so you can kind of just watch. We'll jump between things here and there. As I said, it's probably about 55 items. I've just had a couple more sales come through, actually. Actually, customers just purchased. Yep, someone else has just purchased another MacBook. Sweet. I do love it. All right, let's get into this. All right, all done. Just got to pull out the MacBooks, and yeah, that was pretty good actually. Didn't take too long at all. All right, so this is what we've got going on. We've got some DVD blanks, actually. We haven't sold that for a long time, but that's pretty cool. One customer's purchased all these Macs, and this is about $300 there, so really cheap for them, but great for the repeat business. It's literally very little work in that. Some of them were a little bit of a pain, but easier to get done and dusted. This is all clothing. A couple of little Matchbox cars, little camera as well. Yeah, that's pretty much it. And then we've got the video games in here that we sold. We haven't sold all of these, but I've just got them all together. So we've sold the Game Boy,
We also sold XY, and we sold Emerald, and we sold all the other games which are in a little bag. So yeah. Woohoo!
All right, team, I'm going to start a packing session, get this done, and yeah, while I'm waiting for the washing will probably be here in about 30 minutes or so. So see how much we can pack. I'll then get the washing, unpack the washing, and then we'll get back to packing. That's the main priority, but we're off to a good start. Surprisingly, like we've done a higher ASP weekend, so we've got less amount of volume, but same amount of dollars, which is good because it makes my life a little bit easier. Let's get into it. All right, folks, so we have a total of, it's 9 MacBooks going out and 1 bunch of iPads. So the way I pack all this is, have to do a little bit of weight distribution. They've paid about $60 to send all this. The best way to do it is kind of put as much as possible in a large box. Obviously I've got to put padding and things, but this can fill up to 5 kilos. So I'll fit probably 3 or 4 of the smaller ones in here, weigh it, make sure it's under 5 kilos. That becomes 1 combo, and then I do a couple more. So usually out of this many, it's probably gonna be 3 boxes, I think. And in terms of keeping it padded, we do put bubble wrap at the bottom, and then I bag the laptops. And obviously you've got to make sure you put a road transport only sticker on it as well, which you can get from your local post office. And the other thing to consider is if the batteries are removable, you need to remove them and pack them separately. So I'm going to do that with these ones. Alright folks, we have done the postage. Not too bad. There we go, 2 bag pulls and a few things there. Next steps for me is I'm going to put a whole bunch of the electronics on charge, so the iPhones and iPads and stuff that we got last week. Get them charging, and while they're charging I'll probably sort these clothes. And then once that's done,
we can get into the electronics and get into all this. I want to get all this done today because there's some quick dollary do's. My team sorted all the clothing. We came out with 35 pieces, so a lot more than normal actually. I've got to send an offer, make sure they're happy. Probably $5 a piece. There's probably one or two that might go for 60 plus, some of the jackets. Most of it's probably around the $40 ASP. There'll probably be some lower ends, but usually some quicker sell through. So yeah, not too bad. We also got those wool knits back today as well. I'm really keen to get these on the store because we've never sold these before, so they're all very, very nice. Some really nice pieces in here. All right, we're going to move on to the phones and all that jazz that was charging before. They should be charged now. We'll get through those. Got that MacBook to do here as well. Nope, something stuck on that one. And then we will. I really want to get that stuff done, and then get the Mac done, and then work through these cameras. That's the goal. Let's get cracking. Now, I had a question on the cameras, which I'm going to answer. All right, team, quick update, which was pretty cool. I did the iPhones and the Mac, and I actually listed them straight away, and it sold already. So we are selling them slightly underpriced, just so we can move them. But we have a regular customer, so they pay every time. But in the interim, what I got to do is I need to actually just move all this stuff down the end here because we have finally filled up. So I'm just going to spend 5 minutes and get this done, and then we'll get back to doing the electronics. All right, managed to do all that. Actually, something that's pretty funny is we're actually, for the first time, it's been this is week 8, and we have finally reached the end of the shelving. So this should cover us for the rest of the week, maybe. We're doing these big wool sweaters, and they're really thick actually. I don't really want to have to go buy more shelving yet, just because I'm trying to minimize outgoings, but we are due to do a consolidation also for stock take purposes too. So we've got to weigh up if we're going to do that, or what's the go there. Yeah, I mean, I don't have to get all the shelving, but if I'm going to do it, I may as well do it properly. But anyway, something to consider. But it's a good problem. I mean, we're moving through it quite quickly, and we're selling more than ever. But we're also, I mean, we're probably not listing necessarily more, maybe just a little bit. If I look back over the last couple of months, we actually have been still pretty consistent. So in January we listed 1,015 items. In February we did 944. In March we only did 953, and at the moment we're on day 14 and we're on 624. So we're on track to probably, if we do double that, because it's we're halfway through the month, so we should get to probably 1,100, 1,200 items. We're finally getting back to where we were leaving the storage units. In the storage units we were doing, we peaked at, we had basically 5 months of averaging 1,100 listings. So we're slowly getting back there. So it just goes to prove we're actually not even at full capacity back into flow. So, because I've just been so busy and all those different things. But we have been doing a lot of like non-listed stuff off eBay, like the wholesale stuff and that. So it probably evens out, to be honest. All right, so I had a question for the cameras, which I want to get through right now. So the question comes from Find and Flip. Thank you for the question. About any chance of telling us how you actually test and prep cameras. So look, the way we do this, we actually try and do it least resistance. And that's because a lot of these come from e-waste, right? So they don't actually know if they're working. Now, if you see this camera, for instance, this is nothing special, but I'm going to check if it's got batteries in it, if it's, this one might actually already have, oh, there we go. So it doesn't look like it's going to open. There we go. So that one's got no battery in it. So that one we can actually test pretty easy because it's just a CR123, I think it is. Whereas, the ones that require an actual special battery, I think this actually has one in it. See, like that. So we can actually test that with that. But majority of the time, these cameras come with no batteries, no SD cards. So we literally just put them up and do front, back, top, down, left, right, all those different things, and sell it as untested. If it is working, like meaning if we can test it and show that it turns on, we're very reluctant to actually sell it as working. The reason why is because you might be out taking photos after 30 minutes and then all of a sudden it has lens errors and stuff, but we're not testing it for 30 minutes. So that's why we kind of just do that as the main process. Like some of them, if you know, like if I can get $600 for this, maybe we're going to spend the extra time on it. But most of the time I can sell this for parts not working for about $150 for this one. So yeah, we're just trying to avoid people coming back. I'd rather, you know, take $50 less and then we have that same customer come back every time we list it. So, you know, taking some of the money all of the time rather than all of the money some of the time. So that's those ones. And then these, same situation, obviously just a bit bigger, but most of the time these require special batteries, and rather than paying for the batteries, except this one's lucky we got the battery. So the way we test the batteries, if we do have batteries that come with them, is we picked up a whole bunch of these. You can basically just put the battery in here, adjust the prongs, and then you can test them. So yeah, that's the way we go about it. That's really it. I mean, you got to let the batteries charge, but I usually just get these out and just try and smash through them as quickly as possible because they're really easy to list. Yeah. Okay team, it's almost the end of the day. We did manage to get all of the cameras done. We got some calculators done. We got these ones done. The person that purchased all the iPhones and iPads, they haven't paid yet. They'll probably pay tonight, but that's okay. We'll probably have more for them by the end of the week as well. All of this has been accepted. We've paid, I think it was 175. I've got to pay them actually, but we agreed on 175. Yeah, 175 for the 35 items, so happy with that. They can go to the wash now. Almost finished up here, but I'm just going to do a little bit of admin. Tomorrow I have to also pick out what we're putting to the wash as well, because they'll be back Thursday, but I'm not here Wednesday, so we've got to get that done tomorrow. We're probably actually going to start to send some of the puffer jackets as well, get that in motion, and yeah, so I might just start on that now. Alright folks, that is a wrap. We're back here again tomorrow, doing it all again. Ciao! Folks, welcome to Tuesday. And we have the boss with us today. Funnily enough, I dropped her off at the station and they were busing, which was a bit unexpected. So she's going to come here, which is great. So Tuesday, I actually got a whole bunch of goodies that I was meant to get Friday. These were picked up yesterday. So a whole bunch more clothes and things to sort. We've got that this morning. My plan today is do have photographer in, so I've got to get them all set up over here as well. Almost finished all of these knits, which is pretty cool, but get that all set up. My plan is got a little bit of a pick, pack and post, got to do a little bit of admin stuff, sorting this, but I think if I can get the admin out of the way this morning, really just start to smash into all of this a bit more. There's all that stuff still, there's still more stuff here, so work through all that. I do need to do a sort through the charity stuff that I'll be doing with backpacks, and I still need to finish making up the washing bags as well. So lots of things, but first is first, we're going to have some cheeky breakfast and get into it. So, and I've also got to do market stuff, so lots to do, whether it's today and Thursday, but it's all part of it. And Carla's got to work. Yep. Yeah, she's just excited for a sandwich. Alright team, catch up in a bit. Alright team, just been spending a little bit of time getting booking my flights and accommodation for Retail Fest. That is now 100% confirmed, so pretty excited for that. If you guys haven't been to Retail Fest before, that's up in Gold Coast, essentially 3-day conference, retail focus. eBay's there's quite a lot of other retailers and different third parties and vendors, and just it's a really great conference if you're wanting to
expand your network, if you're wanting to maybe get, you know, motivated, inspired, just to see what other things are happening in the retail landscape. There's a lot of keynotes, a lot of workshops, all that kind of stuff. I'm mainly going for the eBay side of things, but there's a few other things that I like to do while there, is just connect, catch up, make new connections, hopefully find some more solutions that can possibly help the business grow, especially now being in a warehouse. And things like that. So I'll be looking to a lot of shipping management tools there as well, just to be able to chat with someone properly and see what they can do for me. But yeah, all right, that's done. Took a little bit longer than expected because there was a few little hiccups in terms of accommodation and things like that, but we're locked in. I'm going to sort through all this clothing, and then I'm going to do a little bit of a cleanup, and then we're going to get into the day.
All right, there was actually a fair bit of interesting stuff in here. Nothing super crazy, but some really good bread and butter.
There was a lot of this Caltex Team Vortex 888 with Craig Lowndes. There was quite a lot of that. There was some Castrol stuff, there's some new Tag stuff, some dresses, a lot of that racing stuff down here as well. So pretty happy with all this. I'm going to sort it properly, and I'm going to put this into washing bags as well. But yeah, pretty good with the hit rate actually. Very happy with that. Not too bad. All right, team, just doing a bit of a cleanup, sorting up things that we can sell, won't sell, will sell, want to sell, don't want to sell. So I've been doing that over there. I'm going to actually start a bit on this actually, just while I'm in the cleaning mood, because I really just need the space back here. And you know, at the end of the day, there's nothing really urgent pressing, and if we can get that resolved, I think it's going to just open up a lot more storage opportunities for some of this media items and things like that. So I think that's what I'm going to do. All right, team, it's been hours. Lots has been happening. I haven't really shown you any changes because this is going to probably trigger a few people. This is what I'm dealing with, this crazy mess behind me. It's just wild, but we're making good progress. So really, I started to just pull a few things, and then I'm like, as I said to you, I'm just going to handle this now. I'm just going to get it done. And this is the stuff I was talking about last week. I've been putting things off, and then you make progress in one area, and like, I really should be listing things, but I'm not being able to be focused and prioritize, knowing that I've got all these other things that I just want to deal with. And this is going to make things a lot easier. So we have started to finally make some progress here. At the moment, it's just been like pulling things out, sorting it, whether it's stuff worth doing, stuff not worth doing, putting stuff in the bin, making up cardboard, waste, all this stuff. So some of this is just empty boxes, making up market stuff, making up donation stuff. So we're almost there. I've kind of pulled everything out now. It's now just putting it into a new home. We are meant to be getting some shelving here. I've got to just measure to make sure. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to put shelving here. I'm going to have space here, and then some more shelving here. And that way I can kind of move this into there, and we can work through it in that spot. And then I can have shelving for the media stuff, have shelving for some of the other stuff that comes in, because at the end of the day, I still want to make sure, my goal is to get all this really proper, because anything that comes in, I want to sort it all here before it gets in that way. And at the moment, everything's just been coming in and getting dumped, and that's okay. Like it's all work in progress, but I just got to the point where it's like, no, it has to be done. So that's what I've been doing. It's 1 o'clock. I have picked everything out that has sold, but I haven't done the postage yet, but I will do that before I leave. It's been okay, but we have dropped down. We're back down to 91,500. We've got about 14 orders going out. But we did sell. One person came through and purchased 6-7 items, so grateful for that. All right, my photographer just finished as well. They've done, I don't even know how much they've done. Let's have a look. Looks like they did, I don't know how many they've done, probably done about 40, 43. I don't know. Anyway, I'm happy regardless, they've got it done. That's all that matters. And so I'm gonna finish up sorting all this stuff, get that done, that's the priority. Then I'll do the postage, and then that's probably really gonna be the main focus today.
which I know I've got other things that I need to do, but it's just been on my mind. I've got to check for boxes. I'll probably make some more boxes for the photography tomorrow. We have now finished all of this stuff except for these pants, so that will get done tomorrow. I also need to make sure I put some things out there for the photographer tomorrow while I'm away doing backpack stuff. But we've got all these jackets over here. And I still need to do, I still need to make the washing bags. So, all right, I've got to speed up. So I haven't been doing much with you. I apologize, but just want to get this done because it's been 8 weeks. We haven't tackled it. We're so close of getting it done. All right, let's do this. All right, we've made some good progress. I've still got to clean up this a little bit. Still a few, there's some video games here stuff, so that means we can start on it. There's still a few things here that will have to go out. So like there's some books there that has to go to savers. A few other things I haven't figured out what to do with yet. This is all our wire. And then I still got to figure out all this stuff here, but then we've got all this still to do, but just anxious of time. It's 2 o'clock, so I'm actually just going to do the postage, make sure that's out of the way, and then I'll come back to this, just so we're not rushing at the last minute. Whew. All right, folks, we're in the home stretch now. It's now 4 o'clock. I've kind of got this to a 80%, 70% of where I want it. Obviously, we're still going to put shelving in here, but that just gives a bit more space in here. Over here we cleaned up a little bit in terms of, well, except for that, but this is all stuff that has to be photoed, so I've just put it here for now, but really just combining bits and bobs of things that I want to do. We've got some consoles here that I'll do. This stuff's still gonna sort a little bit. We've got a backloggers here as well, a few bundles there that came in today. That would be pretty cool. There is a record player there as well. So not quite there yet, but nice little progress. A whole bunch of network cameras and microphones in here to test and see if they're working. Other than that, I think we're okay. So I'm going to spend the last 30 minutes probably just making up some washing bags because I'm not here tomorrow, and then just making sure that I've got everything set out for my photographer who is here by themselves tomorrow. So yeah, let's get that done. All right, team, that is a wrap. Made up 9 washing bags, which is good to go for Thursday morning because obviously I'm not going to be here tomorrow. I'm probably going to get my photographer tomorrow to just finish all this, newer tag stuff and some jackets over there, and then they can start sorting more of this if they really need to. That's that. I'm going to pack up, get out of here, and I'll see you on Thursday. Ciao. Folks, welcome to Thursday. It feels like Friday. I'm totally confused what day it is, but it is Thursday. I can guarantee that. We've got Carla in the office today, which is great. The boss is back.
Morning.
So that means we also picked up some coffee and brekkie, which is great as well. Big day today. Lots of things to do. I'm just going to quickly I haven't had a look in here yet, but my photographer yesterday, they were here by themselves. They have finished sorting majority of all this stock. I think they sent me a photo for one that needs to be sorted. I think it's here. Anyway, I'll check that. But a lot of all this needs to be, or maybe it's this one that has to be sorted. All of this is ready to be processed. They've already made washing bags up as well. So that's a win. I don't have a photographer in today. That's okay. These still have to be done. These are all for the market. These are all listed. And that stuff's over there for the market. Anyway, my focus today is I've got quite a lot of postage to send just because we weren't here yesterday. Quite a lot of multiple purchase orders as well. Someone's purchased like 17 items. We actually also need to, I just want to get some listings done as well, some photos, but I also need to prep for the market. And I've got a whole bunch of questions from a lot of you in regards to random things, but also around the market. So we're going to talk about that today as well. We'll get on top of that. And next week, I've also got to probably start doing a stock take. So lots of moving pieces, but really today, I just want to do the postage. I want to get on top of some more things to get photoed for the long weekend because we're not going to be here tomorrow either. And yeah, I'll probably have to come back here tomorrow and just pack the van with the market stuff, but we'll see how we go. We'll see how we go and we'll progress through. There is a potential that I'm getting another e-waste delivery today as well, but I've got to just finalize all that. With being a shorter week and long weekend and stuff, you know, things are a little bit out of order. I've got the washing coming back in about 15-20 minutes, and we'll be sending out 9 more bags as well. So all of those and those. So I'm happy with this. Yeah, let's have some breakfast and get into it. All right, folks, I've just actually had to nick out to go pick up stuff from my PO box, just because yeah, well, I got the message and I want to get all that processed and refunded before the long weekend. So just left Carl at the warehouse and I'll go get this done now. I've had a whole bunch of questions come through that I kind of want to answer. I'm not going to answer them all now because some of them will be contextual based in the warehouse. But there was a question that came through from Hawk, and it was in regards to all that e-waste that we got last week, and it was how do you get a hold of such large amounts of waste, and what do you do with the leftovers? So this has been a contract that I got probably about 1.5 to 2 years ago. We actually been working together for about 2 years, but the contract's only probably been about 1.5 years, and it's just been something that I've continuously been building on. And you know, we used to just get a couple of boxes, then we got more boxes, and now because of the warehouse, now we can get pallet loads. That, you know, it's just more easier for them to take a pallet and me to receive a pallet rather than just be picking up small amounts of boxes. That's the idea. So that's really just been over a longer period of time of accumulation, and that's how we've been able to you know, make it happen. And that's just through continuously building out the business, trying to find new business partners and expand that space. And it's something I'll continually keep trying to do. I mean, because that's the end goal, is to continue to thrive working with more businesses and partners. But the leftover junk, look, a lot of that gets sorted into different categories of sort. It gets sorted into the categories which then help it process through the circular economy life cycle. Which, what that means is, like, the stuff that we've got that we can resell, the stuff that we've got that we can repurpose, the stuff that we get that can, you know, be reutilized, whether it's through resale or reuse. And that's really our main goal, is to remove stuff from going to landfill and waste. But, you know, that's working with other businesses and other partners, which I've been able to, you know, bring on board as well, whether it's through laptops, whether it's through other tech, old tech, and that gets rid of that stuff. But the stuff that we can't sell, or the stuff that people don't want in that sense, it goes through a process of, you know, resource utilization, basically recovering all the resources from these different, you know, e-waste items, whether it's gold, silver, copper, aluminium, all those different things. So that's what we then prioritize. The beauty is I don't have to do all of that. I've just got to put it back into category boxes, especially for the media stuff. And then it goes through to the next center, which is the depot center, where that gets processed. So I'm really just adding a component to that life cycle to ensure that we're able to get the best bang for buck before it's just getting thrown out, such as those video games that we got last week. But the other thing is, like, there's certain components of it now which I am able to take, such as the wire and things like that. And that's not going to be lots of dollars, but over a long period of time, it's going to be a nice little paycheck, and will build up. So really just trying to get the most out of all of this stuff. And this isn't purely, I don't make all this money. This goes back to that organization. I'm doing it as a managed service. So I make a certain amount from this, a consignment amount from this, and I'm providing a service for them. So the idea is that if they're going to be able to make more money from this, they're saving money from costs in terms of they're not having to pay someone to do it, and they're also being able to do it all quicker and more efficiently, well, then it makes sense, well, why don't we do more of it? And then that opens more doors for me as well. So that's really the intention there, and that's how we go about it, and the value chain of it all, or the thinking. And yeah, really great question. Thank you for asking. All right, I'm gonna go pick this up, and then I'm gonna head back to the warehouse, and we'll get into the big day. All right, team, we're back. I'm gonna do a pick, pack, and post now. Get on top of this. We're running a little bit behind, but that's okay. In terms of sales were pretty good. Tuesday, yesterday they were pretty low. We've actually dropped back down again. The roller coaster is real. We've got 37 orders to go out, and it's probably about 55 items. We're on 90,712. I've had quite a few questions come out regarding, you know, my posting and picking and packing and things like that.
And there were some questions around, have I been looking into software? Yes, so we are currently looking at software. I'm going to be going and having some more conversations with some of the vendors at Retail Fest, because there's a certain way that I like to do things and I haven't been able to find a solution to do it, so I want to validate all that. But there was a key question here that came through regarding when I'm doing my picking. If you do postage one at a time, why don't you appear to pick in SKU order? It's a very good question. The reason why I don't pick in SKU order is because Australia Post, you can't filter by SKU order, which is very frustrating, which is the main reason why I still pick it the same way I do. I pick it in latest to oldest, because that's how Australia Post lists their orders, and it matches with eBay, so you can quickly compare. Now, I could do SKU order, I could do a search function in Australia Post and do it, but it's going to work out with more clicks. And I've changed this a few times. We used to just do everything in batches. We used to just do all the picking, and then do all the packing, and then all the processing, and then all the printing. But now, as I've gotten more and more, it's become a bigger space issue. I haven't done it here actually, but when we were doing at the storage unit, there was more chances of errors occurring. And by doing it individually, it makes it so much easier. The only problem is, because I have a credit account, I don't have to go through and do PayPal or anything like that, but I still have to click through 3 times in order to print the slip. So what I want to be able to do, and this is a process that I'll be taking with some of the different shipping management vendors, is before I start picking in SKU order, I am going to make sure that there is a function to be able to do that. And then I can pick in SKU order, I can filter by SKU, and then we can print and pack, and ideally just with a single click print, not have to pay every time. And that will probably save us 15 seconds an order, which if we're doing some of the big days, we're doing 70 items, it's going to add up pretty quick. So that's the reason why I don't at the moment, because it just doesn't make sense. I'm not going to go pick it all in SKU and then resort it out with the print. I know a lot of people, pull everything out, then sort it all and then do it that way, but this is what's worked best for me in terms of best time approach. But I think once we implement the software, it's going to make it so much quicker as well. So really just working towards that. There was another question about this, I think. Yeah, you might want to look into some. No, so I've already answered that question. Yeah, so that's that. I think there's some other questions that I'm going to get to shortly, but I'm going to do a pick, pack, and post, and get on top of this right now. All right, team, we've actually got a lot going out. This is going to take a bit. I'm just going to get started on this, get cracking, and get it done. All right, there was a question that came through regarding, some of the music and stuff that I like to listen to, because it must get pretty quiet in the warehouse. Good question. So the music that I've been listening to is actually all year. It's just been from this artist. I think it's actually AI generated, probably is. But they're just lo-fi tunes. Basically, it's called Here We Go. I'll put it up on screen. You can have a look for yourself. That's been absolutely great for just smashing out, doing listings, doing photos, all this different stuff. It's been really, really good. And I mean, obviously I don't have music and stuff playing while I'm recording because I'd get license copyright, but podcasts, I'm always listening to Pat Flynn. I'm also listening to Alex Hormozy, Diary of a CEO. Yeah, that's really it, but mainly just the tunes in the background. But yeah, that helps me just stay focused and get me into a good groove. Speaking of focused, I'm going to do that now. All right, folks, postage is all done. We've got one big bag over there, and we've got a couple of boxes over there. This is all the washing that has come back. I'm going to go through this, see what I can flat lay, get ready for next week, just so I can make some space. I mean, we've got heaps here, lots of women's clothing, obviously, as you can see, and we've got some pants, we've got some men's stuff in there as well, but majority of this is women's. That's all done as well over there. I've confirmed that's the only one that needs to be sorted. But I needed these tables actually for the market. I think I'm going to need to get some more of these rolly tables. It's just going to make our life so much easier, and then replace those ones with the rolly tables. So they actually were on sale the other day, so
Maybe I'll see if there's still any more. All right, so I'm going to do this, and then we're going to get into some electronics. I've got a customer asking if I've got any more phones, which clearly I do. I'm going to see what's there relevant for them, and then see if we can just sell it straight away. All right, folks, I'm just waiting for a couple of things to charge here. I've already sold those. I've sold these. I've also sold these. I'm just letting them finalize charging. We just got to just double check that they're actually turning on, etc. But I had a customer said, yep, they're happy to buy it. I'll just process them and then get them listed for you. So they're doing it. I'm just doing a little bit of market prep, actually, just getting some of the jackets out. I've had a number of questions around the market, and I'm going to answer this a little bit more broadly, but I guess the context is people saying not really worth your time. That's a lot of market stock that I have, and all these different things. So I just kind of wanted to answer a couple of these. Some people weren't necessarily aware of how the markets are happening. So the markets, I do the market once a month. It's just a local one, and it's just been a way to kind of get a little bit of outreach and grow. Definitely, I agree, it's not high end. Some days we've done $550, some days we've done $20. However, over the longer term, we've actually had a customer come in and purchase stuff, which has been really good, and they've now spent over $2,000. So that's been worth it, that I met at the market. But just to address, people saying it doesn't seem like an opportunity worth your time. I'd like to know a bit more about, since I've only been watching for a little bit of time. And then the other question was, yeah, maybe it's not worth your time. Can you give us a bit more understanding? La-di-da-di-da. So we've been doing the market since November, and I've been wanting to continue to trial different things there. Every time we go, we get a bit better process, get things in flow. This month, or this week that we're going, which is in a couple of days, I'll be focusing more on winter or cooler or jackets. So the reason why we have so many bags here is this is all stuff that's been pulled out that is going to be reprioritized for different seasons. So there's some in here that have more jackets and jumpers, which I'm going to pull out shortly. Some of it has shirts and stuff, which isn't relevant for, obviously, summer and things like that. So, I mean, isn't relevant for winter, but there's more stuff relevant for summer and things like that. So that's that. In terms of worth my time, yeah, we put a lot of effort into it. If we're doing from it doesn't cost as much, it's like $10, $15, but in terms of that perspective, it doesn't cost a lot at all. Time it does cost, but I'm still finding it's still early days. It's a great way to still connect with my local community and see if there's any opportunities there, and continue to build out a repeat customer base. Long term, it's not going to be worth it. Long term, I really should be going to a clothing market, which people are there to buy clothing. These markets are a little bit more, people are just there to see what's going on. But I'm not ready to call it quits yet. So that's my perspective on that. At the end of the day, last time I had 3 people come through that I knew, which was great. We chatted, connected. I mean, to me, that it's not hard work. That's nice. It's enjoyable. Now that we've got a bit of a down pat process, it's nowhere near as much as a slog as it used to be. However, we need to continue to make sure that stays the way it is, because if it becomes too much effort for very little return, then yeah, definitely something that I won't be doing in the longer term. I won't be there in May because I'll be away in Singapore. So that could be a chance to then kind of stop going from there, but I'm not ready to say no yet. But it is definitely on my plate of whether it's worth my time. Again, if I wasn't at the market, I would probably just be at home chilling anyway. And this is a way to kind of grow opportunities. So I'm a long-term player, and because it's really low impact in terms of, yeah, it's a bit of a setup. Once you set up, it's not much effort. It's taking about 30 minutes to pack down now, like pack up, probably 30 minutes to set up, maybe 45. So it really ain't too bad. Anyway, we'll see how we go. I'm probably gonna have to come back here tomorrow and actually pack the van. I don't really want to rush to pack the van today. I'm just getting clothing ready today. So yeah. All right, team, good news. We managed to sell all of the iPads. We managed to sell those phones and the other bundle of phones for a total of $340. So they're now. Gave them a good deal, they gave me a good deal. Everyone's happy, so that's a quick win. There was a question that came through, and it's regarding the GPSR, which I'll give some context to. I'm just going to bring up so I can read the question. Really great question, so I do appreciate it. Alias Marcus, or is it Elias Marcus? I know who you are, but you know, just using your alias name. Hey Chris, another great video. Since you do about 10% international, which is true, can you tell us how you deal with GSPR? So last year, end of last year, there is this new thing called General Product Safety Regulation, which is to do with the European Union and Northern Ireland. And it's a regulation that applies to both new and second-hand goods, and introduces a whole bunch of specific requirements around businesses and their product safety information. So with this, you'll see when you scroll down at the bottom of your listing, if you're sending international, even if you're not sending international, there is stuff that you can add for this around contact information, manufacturer information, and help information for if you sell this item and it goes international, you need to be able to provide all the right information. So if something's wrong with that item or fails or breaks, that they have a local area to contact. Now, this is still a bit early days, it's a bit wishy-washy, and the problem is with clothing, to go through and actually pull all that information is quite detailed. And because it's still very wishy-washy, I actually decided to turn off EU and NI, Northern Ireland, in terms of where I'm shipping to, because I don't want to start doing a whole bunch of this and not filling it in because it's too much effort, and then all of a sudden we get a wake-up call of, you know, we've been hit with 10, 20, 30, 100, 50,000 items that don't qualify, and we get a policy violation or something like that. Or on the other case that we send it and then it doesn't comply and then it gets sent back. So I'm still sending to the UK, that's fine, because they're separate, but for me it just wasn't worth it because there's a lot of detailed information that you have to fill out. Now if I'm selling like toys, or if you've got like a replenishable product, it's going to be so much easier to do because you've got to fill it out once. But because we've got 5,500 SKUs and I've got all international orders on that, I'm not going to go through and fill out the product information for all of that. It's just not feasible for the amount that I'm selling it for. So that's a really good question. That's how I'm handling it. I'm not doing it. I haven't really spent any more time on it. To me, it just wasn't worth it. 10% of my sales, you know, we're doing 90,000 every 90 days. So a bit less, I mean, a bit more than that, but that's $9,000 that is actually non-European Union. So even if I was sending there, it's probably only going to be probably 5% of the 10%, of the 10% already. So, you know, it's not heaps that we're missing out on, but really good question. I've chucked up on screen where you can go have a look at this on the eBay site yourself. Maybe you've got some different inputs or some different ideas around this, or maybe how you're dealing with it. I'd love to know as well, but that's my opinion on it. So yeah, cheers. All right, I'm going to continue on with some more electronics and bundles of stuff and actually start to make our way through all of this stuff that we've been putting off for so long. And maybe get over to some of the stuff over there as well. But yeah, feeling a bit slow today because it's just knowing that we're going into a long weekend. Got all the jackets ready for the market now. The only other thing I have to do for the market is sort some of the toys that I'm taking. Again, every time we do the market, we refine it in terms of keeping it simple, stupid. I've stocked up on new toys. I've stocked up on small bric-a-bracs, the stuff, because we have quite a few regulars come back and look at this kind of stuff. So just being mindful of that. And either way, it's a happy day. So, but I will probably come back here tomorrow and I'll pack the van tomorrow just because I don't really want to rush to do it. I want to get as much photos done now for the next 2 hours or hour and a half, and see what we can do with that going into the long weekend as well. So really just want to try and get as much money as possible over the long weekend, so I want to have good stock for it. I've got a good backlog of drafts anyway. My list of John's been smashing away, and we've got currently in our draft bank, we've got 139, and I think he's still got probably got about 80 to go. So we should be full chockers
for the long weekend. Nice.
So I'm just here sorting these phones, and I just got a phone call that we have another delivery coming. Be here in about 20 minutes, which is great, which means we'll have more stock for next week. And this is the beauty of it. This is what I like. Every week it's coming in. I mean, I'm way behind, but I don't care about that, because it's giving me a good idea of the consistency level, so that way I can start to plan accordingly. Because especially if I'm going to hire in things to know how much time and effort things take, this gives me a really good indication of all of that. So the consistency, even though I'm so behind on other things, it doesn't really matter, because I spoke about this I think last week. We're going slow, we're growing slow, we've got all the time in the world, but at the same time I want to get things quick to market. So this helps give me the the brute force ability to see what works, what doesn't work, because we're pushing things through a process. And yeah, I did have a question for you guys actually. I've got probably got 40 kilos of wire that I need to process. And I was thinking it could be good to do a sit down and a talk through while I'm just processing that wire, as a bit of a passive episode, while answering questions. But then I thought maybe I could do a live stream while I'm doing it and just chat to you guys, and it could be just like a working session. But I don't know, I mean, it's not really high revenue, but it's going to have to be done at some point. So maybe when I do that, we can schedule it as a bit of an event and hang out and just do some stuff. So let me know in the comments down below if that sounds like something you would be interested in, because I would love to know. Right, this bundle is done. These ones aren't getting listed and sold now. These will get photoed, and then they will get done, over the weekend or whatever, probably. So all good. All right, let's take a photo of this. So all these are all parts not working. Just remove batteries, remove data, quick and easy. Most of these are redundant, can't be used anyway. There's a couple there, but there is still quite a lot of people after these phones. They're just old Samsungs. Let's do it. All right, folks, and just like that, we have another whole pallet. So they didn't take the old pallet just because this was a quick drop off. So the other pallet's still actually sitting here, ready to go. And they're going to pick up both of them next week. So I'm going to process all of this by next Thursday, which will be fine. I'll get onto this early next week. And all right, I couldn't help myself. I did have a sticky beak in the e-waste, but a few laptops in there. There's a nice little Denon Blu-ray. Check out this little guy down here. Where is it? That one there, little Denon. That thing should go for about $100 parts only. Anyway, I'm just excited. The reason why I'm excited is because that's starting to work. Get it in terms of this whole service that I'm doing. It's starting to come to play, because I've already sent out messages to customers that we've got a pallet, we've got laptops, we've got phones, we've got things coming through, and they're all keen. And that's the idea. That is the idea. I'm just happy about it. I'm quickly just going to flat lay these over here, get them out of the way. I'll be back here tomorrow anyway to finalize a few things. If I don't get it done today, I'll just do it tomorrow. Actually, I've just had my customer come through and pay for all those iPads and phones, actually. So probably going to pack that actually first. Worst case, I'll do this tomorrow, because I want to get this stuff out for the customers that have just paid, because obviously it's a long weekend, and so that they'll at least get it hopefully early next week rather than end of next week. All right, let's do it. All right, team, that is Thursday done, and kind of the week. I will be back here tomorrow, so I will do a bit of filming. Carla says bye, but we're actually off to go get some gelati, some ice cream. It's quite sticky and warm still. So tomorrow I've got to do all the market stuff, which we're ahead on that now because I know what I'm doing in the game plan. I'll unpack all of this tomorrow, and hey, maybe I'll do something else too. Anyway, that's it from me, folks. Appreciate you, and I've got to finish all the questions tomorrow as well if there's any that I'm missing. And yeah, ciao. All right, team, it is Friday. Here we are again. Bit early actually, 8:48. Just figured I'd just get here, get it done. A couple of things I want to get done today. I'm going to finish flat laying all these sweaters and stuff. do that first. I actually need to have a bit of a think because the weather has changed. It's now expected to be 28 tomorrow, which is just ridiculous because we're in the middle of autumn and I was expecting it to be a lot cooler. So I've got to really think about, am I going to be taking all these jackets? I think I am, because I feel like more people are going to be shopping for cool weather coming, not for the day they're at. So I think I'm just going to stick to my guns with that. But I'm going to have a bit of a think about it while I do some of the flat laying of the clothes. And then after that, we just got to sort out this stuff here that we're taking, and yeah, then pack the van. So shouldn't be here too long. I need to get home by midday, so we'll just smash it out and get it done. And I'll bring you along for the ride. Probably have a bit of a chat, bit of a yap as well, and answer any other questions and do a reflection of the week and all that jazz. So let's get into it. All right, well, funny story. Had a customer come actually, and they spent 260 bucks on buying a few bits and bobs, which I'm very grateful for. So, well worth being here. I've been having a little bit of think about the situation for the market. So this is what we're taking in terms of clothes, and I did add a few more like cooler things, a few more shirts, a few more tees, but I'm going to stick to the guns and go with the jackets, because I feel like that's what people are looking to buy, because people are going to be dressed for the environment. If anything, if it does get a cool change, they'll be able to buy a jacket, but I think most people are going to be shopping for ahead of time. So that's all the clothing that we're taking. In terms of other goodies, which I've just pulled out, we've got lots of toys. We've got lots of hats as well. There's a few more toys in there. And then these are just the usual ones that I've got that we're taking. I'm leaving some things behind for that this time. Again, rotating it, things that are relevant, or just cycling stock to keep it fresh for the repeats that come through. I think what I'm going to do also tomorrow after the market, when we drop everything off, I'm actually going to get a couple more shelving units, maybe 1 to 3, and set them up along here. The reason why is, geez, that bird is loud. Just had a crow land on the roof and jeepers. I want to make sure we're not spending too much time next week. I just remembered it's a short week next week as well. So I'm going to want to make sure that we aren't spending our time consolidating, because I'm going to lose a couple of days of photography. So I'm going to get probably 3 more that will buy us till the end of next week and the week after. And then we can start to do the consolidation after that. Because as I said, I've got to do a stock take as well. All right, let's start packing the van, and then we can get out of here. And then it's resting time. All right, the van, first half of the van is packed, all the non-clothing, which is pretty neat and solid. We're taking less, but I feel like it's more in that sense because it's just more nichey. So that's all packed. Now we're going to go flat lay all the tables here, and then we put the clothes down, put the racks down, and we just got to put the also got to put in the marquee. Obviously that's a big factor we've got to put in, and then we're done. All right, we're all done. That wasn't too bad at all. It's only, well, including the time that I've had my customer here, it's 10:20 now, so it hasn't been too bad. I'm actually pretty happy with this. It's all done, it's all packed in nice and neat. Like, again, every time we do this, it gets a little bit easier because we have a better flow, better structure. And this is the thing, and I know there's a lot of you saying this isn't worth my time, and I spoke about this the other day, but to me, the more I do it, the better we get at it. And the better we get at it means if we ever go do it somewhere else or another opportunity comes up, we know how to do it. It's just reps, that's all it is. All right, I've just got to quickly check if there was any other questions that I got to answer from you guys. I'll check that, and then I'll answer any more questions. Otherwise, I will see you in the van, and we'll do a recap of the week. It ain't all too bad. All right, there was a question from Miss Vintage. Does eBay have a presence at this year's Retail Fest? I might have skimmed over this earlier, but I'm pretty sure I covered it, but maybe I didn't. Yes, eBay is there, the community partner this year. They've been probably a little bit quiet with the comms, but they do have a
a eBay scale up session. I think that's on the Wednesday. Must be from like 8:30 to 10:30, 8:30 to 11:30. So if you are in Gold Coast and you're heading up or want to head up, I believe that is a free event. So you can go check that out. I'll see if I can find some details and put it up on screen. But yeah, 100%, they will be there. And if you're going to Retail Fest, let me know down in the comments. There was a question that came through. I can't remember if I answered it earlier this week or not. Chris, do you take photos and send your clothing items without ironing? Thanks. So we do not iron our clothing. Sometimes we've steamed them a little bit, but I mean, everything goes through the wash process. You've seen me picking up and dropping off. That is our primary focus. Make sure everything's washed per the the material tag and care tag. There is sometimes stuff that has like markings on it and stuff. We don't put any special attention to it. It's really wash it, get it covered, get it hygienic, all that jazz. And a lot of the stain stuff costs a lot of money to get out, if you're focusing on different points. So we kind of just do the path of least resistance, get it done, and then we go from there. So never had any issues with that.
All right, that's it, folks. Time for a recap. I'll see you in the car. All right, folks. Another week done and dusted. Well, I mean, still got the market and things like that, but I'm going to wrap it up there. Interesting week. It actually feels like a bit of a blur, to be honest. Coming back from last week's conversation, where talking about going slow and all those different things, this week has gone super fast, and that's because we've had less days, and I was away on Wednesday, so really haven't felt like, again, that same conversation that comes back to, feel like I didn't really achieve much this week. However, when I zoom out and have a look at what we've done, we've made some great progress, and I'm so excited to be seeing things just happening on a consistent basis. And obviously me doing those cleanups and things like that is all going to be stuff that's going to help us continue to thrive when I get more and more stock coming through. I mean, we've had 2 weeks in a row now of pallets of stock, and obviously I've got to sort that and process that, and that's why I'm continuously trying to get things better, get things right, get things in order, get things in flow, because if that consistency continues and it ramps up, because the idea is the better we do it, the more we do of it, they're going to do more of it with us. Therefore, we're going to have to make sure that system can continue to push through more and more of that kind of stuff. So really grateful for that. In terms of sales, the sales have been still pretty good. I'm expecting this weekend to kind of be a little bit weird. Today I've only done one sale so far, and it's 10:30 in the morning, so who knows, but I'm expecting it's going to be pretty dead. I am probably going to chuck on a sale after probably in this afternoon, just because most people are they're doing things this morning. There's family, like I've got family stuff on this afternoon, and then I got family stuff on Sunday, so it's all it's different for everyone. Some people celebrate, some people don't, so keeping that in mind. But I'll probably chuck on a sale for the rest of the month from here on out, just to clear out old stock and get things moving. And of course, we're still listing lots anyway. So, well, I mean, we have had the customer sale today, which was around $260. So that will obviously make a huge difference for today as well. But yeah, we're still averaging about $1,000 a day this week. I mean, today's Friday, so I think we're on, I don't know what we're on. Must be on 4.5, 5. Probably only on 4. By the end of today we should technically be on 5, and then technically, I don't know if we will be, but technically, and then obviously over the weekend will be interesting. But I think we should get to 7,000, if not 6, worst case, depending on how the time off goes in terms of this weekend. And then of course it is a long weekend, so I won't be back in the office till Tuesday, so it'll be a shorter video next week, and then Anzac Day next Friday as well. So lots of things happening, lots of cramming things happening. The one thing I haven't done, which I realized just now that I haven't done, is my next round of washing. I'm not sure if I'm going to send it, actually. I might not do that till Thursday next week. Anyway, so not really much to talk about this week. My lessons really have been that, we're charging on regardless. There's going to be weeks that feel like you've absolutely smashed things. There's going to be weeks where it feels like you've just done the needful, you've just done the necessities, you've done the stuff that is required to keep us
chugging along. And that's really what it's all about, is you've got to keep showing up, keep putting in the reps, and keep riding that wave. Sales are down overall. I mean, we're coming into the end of my first 90 days, and because my January was my best month ever, we did $37,000, and now that is starting to fall off the 90-day cycle of turnaround. So I'm expecting we're going to start to continue to dip down, which is why I'm pushing super hard to continue to keep the sales up, because we are sitting on about 90,000, dropped back down from what we got back up to 94, didn't we? So it's just roller coasters, but yeah, it's all good. I'm happy, things are moving along well. Next week will be a pretty busy week because a short week. Don't think I'm coming in Monday. We'll see. But other than that, I can't really complain. So yeah, that's the financials. I've chucked everything up on screen if you want to have a sticky beak yourself. Anyway, if you did make it this far and you've been helping with the code words and all that jazz, I really do appreciate it. I do apologize for last week. I didn't actually put the winner up on screen, but they've been contacted and figuring that all out. For this week's winner, there was some questions about, you know, sharing your opportunities in the business and stuff. I really appreciate it. The winner is going to be up on screen. Congratulations. Please reach out to me via email or Instagram. My email is in my about us section, about me section on YouTube. You can go there, grab the email, and send me an email. Proof that you won, or it's your comment. And yeah, that's that. And for this week, the keyword is going to be EOFY, basically standing for end of financial year. And the question I'm going to ask you for brownie points is, we're in the final quarter. What are you trying to achieve before the end of financial year, which is the end of June 2025? Let me know down in the comments below. Really do appreciate you being here. If you did have any questions, make sure you chuck them down there as well, because I'll get to them next week and answer anything I possibly can. And we'll be back here again, doing it all again. Yeah, we'll be back here again next week, doing it all again. Appreciate you. You have a wonderful day. Cheers.